Good morning, another truck video, 6:33 a.m., January 9th, question mark, yeah, January 9th. I think I mentioned it in a previous video, but if you've ever wondered why does he pretty much only shoot videos in his truck, it's the only time of day that there's two things I can do in a truck. I can listen and I can talk, aside from drive. Which in like a decade, Google will handle that for me anyway. But that'll free me up to make you some really awesome content. But that's why I talk in the truck. Also, I like talking first thing in the morning because none of my my societal filters are in place yet. Like at this point, the only people I've seen so far are my family. That's it. So it's a pretty good barometer of who I am without any of the filters in place. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to kind of package this and put this together. But I had a talk yesterday. One of many talks with many people, but I had a talk yesterday with one of my guys. Poor guys, they spend a lot of time in the truck with me going to and from job sites. You know, sometimes in the truck with me for an hour, sometimes it's 4 hours each way that they have to more or less sit and listen to me talk. You guys at least get to turn me off when you want to. But I made the comment yesterday that my superpower is that I don't have any superpowers. And what I mean by that is I'm about a 7 out of 10 at everything I do. There's very few things that I truly suck at. And I really try not to do those things that I truly suck at. But most things I can do and do pretty well. And I have kind of a short attention span. So it's pretty rare that I stay with anything for too long, that I really become a true master at it. And about the only thing that comes to mind that I've done for any great period of time would be drumming. I've now been playing drums for 19 years. So maybe I'll upload y'all a drum video one day. But I've been playing drums for 19 years. And it's really, truly one of my giftings and talents. I think one of my other giftings is the ability to just talk to random people. I had 2 great random people conversations in the last 2 days, and we got a little time. I'll clue you in on them. One of them, I had the 2 bigger kids with me, Cheyenne and Harlan, boy kid, girl kid, and we were stopped at McDonald's because they were hungry and needed lunch. And I know that stuff is terrible. I don't enjoy it, but when you have an 11-year-old metabolism and immune system, you can eat McDonald's and not just die right on the spot. So we stopped at McDonald's, and there was a guy, Vietnam vet, and I don't know that for a fact, but just from looking at him, I would say Vietnam vet, probably about 65 years oldish, long flowing white hair, riding a Harley, blue jeans with black leather chaps and a black leather vest and a black long sleeve cotton shirt and bandana and black leather jacket covered with patches. And we're sitting at our table and he's sitting at his table, and Cheyenne leans over to me and whispers, "He looks really cool." And I lit up, because Cheyenne is into unicorns and makeup, and doing her nails. And so for her to look at like this biker dude and go, he looks really cool. I don't know. I thought that was awesome. So we're getting up to leave, and I stopped at his table. And I said, hey, my daughter thinks that you look really cool. And he said, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I've got an inner ear problem from the war. And so we did some sign language, and I said, my daughter thinks that you look really cool. And he lit up. He smiled from ear to ear. And he said, my name's Dave. And we introduced ourselves. I'm T, this is Cheyenne, or Shiny. And so I have a cat named T, Mr. T. And we talked for about 5 minutes in this McDonald's. And end result was, great talking with you, brother. God bless you. Have a great day. God bless you and have a great day too. And I'm not going to assume that we made that man's day, but I could tell you he made ours. It was great. Pretty much the same thing happened with a different guy in Home Depot yesterday. Although we were talking about, somehow ended up arguing the merits between 6.5 Grendel and 6.5 Creedmoor and 6.8 SPC and 277 Wolverine and 7mm Valkyrie and just, yeah, and kindred spirit, talking with the guy and former Marine, and it was great. So I could talk with anybody about anything pretty much. Which gets back to what I've been trying to say to y'all, is that I'm a generalist, and I can generally do anything. I mean, I know how to cut timber, I know how to operate heavy equipment, I know how to sew, I know how to bake, I know how to cook, I know how to plant a garden and harvest a garden and, plant trees and tend crops and butcher animals and animal husbandry and hunt and fish. I'm not a very good fisherman, honestly. Harmony, my wife, is a significantly more accomplished fisher person than I am. She just has a feel for it. I'm just not that good, but I can do it in a pinch if I have to. And I can make some awesome Microsoft Excel spreadsheets, and I can run you 3-phase 480 power and erect wind turbines and climb cell towers and just whatever needs to get done, I can do it. Build a pole barn, roger that, on it. We need a chicken coop, on it. I need new shingles on my roof, not a problem. Whatever. And I'm not the best at any of that. I mean, I'm just not. There's guys that are way better at it than I am. Felling timber is one thing that I'm really good at. Really good at. But I've had lots of practice. I'm sure you guys have seen those videos. There's a video of a guy, I think it was a pine tree, a red pine, felling a pine in between two trailers. Looked at a logging camp, probably up in Canada. And he laid it right in there, man. Right in between the two trailers. I've done that. I can do that. And I enjoy the challenge of doing that. And whether he knows it or anybody else that fells logs knows it or not, you're getting into geometry and trigonometry, cutting trees. And it's awesome. My brain, by the way, works like a calculator. I got in trouble in high school because I could tell you the answers to all my math problems, but I couldn't tell you how I got them. I would just see the numbers in my head. Legit. Sully, Mrs. Sullivan, was teaching us trigonometry, and she used to call out. She'd put the equation up on the chalkboard back when people had chalkboards, and she would call out as she was going to pick up her calculator. She'd say, "T, what's the answer?" And I'd tell her. And 98% of the time I was right. The other 2%, I was within 100th. So, and I don't know how that happens. I don't know how that works. It's just something that God gave me, and it annoys a lot of people. But for me, I can see the world and quantify it in numbers pretty easily without having to, and angles and distances and all that stuff they just come to me. They just make sense. So I'm not particularly good at anything, but I'm pretty dang good at most things. Like, and I think that's, everybody has a blessing and everybody has a curse. So, I'm hesitant to say, that's a weakness because, or that's a strength because, and that's one of the things that I'm really trying to quantify and put together, because I do feel like, I feel an onus to teach people what I know, particularly young men, to teach people what I know, from my own experience, because I've been blessed with a lot of experience, but to be able to share with people how me being me has helped my life. I mean, really, truly expressing myself as an individual, what the ramifications of that for my life were, and then helping other people be able to apply that to their lives, right? But it's really hard for me to self-promote, number one, and number two, to come up with a way to say, sometimes being a 7 out of 10 at everything is better than being a 9.5 out of 10 at one thing. And I do believe that for me, because I'm me, and that's the hand I've dealt, right? Like, I will not be working on any supercomputers anytime soon, right? Or quantum computing, I'm not your guy. Like, or blockchain and Bitcoin, I know enough about it to be dangerous, but that's it, right? That's not my gifting. But, the rear end in the guy's car that's trying to get to his office to work on blockchain blows out, I can help him swap his rear end, or whatever. He's got a flat tire or whatever, needs a head gasket. And so, and I think the application here really is not for city folk, because in the city you have to be, by and large, more of a specialist, because being a specialist allows you to earn the income that you need to live in the city and to basically micro outsource all the things that you can't do or won't do because you're engaged in being a specialist. Whereas for me, being a generalist, it doesn't matter. I don't care. And the closer I think you get to the rural areas, the more generalists you see, because made it to the shop, 6:46. I got to get off of here. You see more generalists in rural areas because people don't have the money to hire somebody to come out and build them a chicken coop. B, their general opinion of that entire process would be, this is stupid anyway. And C, people live life more viscerally with their, they physically touch things and they do things. And in the process of doing things, they get better and better and better at the art of doing things. We have a sign that hangs in our shop that says craftsmanship is the art of work. And we believe that. And there are a lot of people, generally speaking, in the more rural areas that are more experienced at doing physical work. And that lends itself, I feel, to being more of a generalist. So I'm trying to figure out how to orientate all of these thoughts, right? So that they make sense. So that I can present them in such a way that they're cohesive and they have some value to y'all and everybody else I come in contact with. So that's where I'm at, the art of being a generalist. Y'all have a wonderful day.